everybody. Welcome to your cat place. I am Purple's Perfect, and today we are doing something special. We are continuing our information and learning about the Nephilim while we're playing Diablo 3, Reapers of Souls. And to have some backdrop music, we are listening to Sunrise in Space, Chill Step Mix. And so first we're starting the music. Music Maestro. Do you hear that? That's the sunrise in space. Okay, now that we have that running, let's start the Nephilim talk. Who is the Nephilim? Where is he? Is he among us? Well, the talk is called Nephilim Among Us. Human-animal hybrids, Eugenics, GMOs, and transhumanisms. And yeah, I'm gonna let that talk, and I will also make some comments about what they're talking about while I play and grind. So hopefully this is both visually entertaining, musically soothing, and intellectually stimulating all at once. Yes, let's do it. Starting the talk. And starting the game. Truth is stranger than fiction. Nephilim among us. Ancient gods in Greek, Roman, Norse mythology. Aliens, Nephilims, and transhumans. Humanized animals. GMOs and transgenics.
Doing a message on Nephilim among us. The Nephilim among us. And in the first part, we've already covered a lot of information. We're asking in the second part,
the cow level is a lie.
Obviously the ancients cared about demigods, but surely modern people have evolved beyond this cult of hybrid demigods.
Demigods, we've evolved.
Is the subject of the Nephilim a mere tangent? We've covered in the first session that we name our planets after the Nephilim, we name our days after the Nephilim, we name our months after the Nephilim, we name our chemicals after the Nephilim, and we name some of our continents and an ocean after the Nephilim. But surely we, modern people, have evolved beyond this now. Would you agree? Sorry, I have to take you to Starbucks. What's on every Starbucks cup?
I don't know.
Nephilim.
Oh.
It's a siren, which is a half fish, half woman, or a half bird, half woman hybrid that lures sailors to their death with their songs.
Oh,
and you can see the evolution of the Starbucks marketing plan of their logo. They just copied a 15th century siren and put it straight on their logo, but over time they just kind of used a little bit of artistic license, and they just rounded it out so it doesn't look, there's some details there, I won't point out the details, some of it's a bit rude, but they've just changed it, but it still is the Nephilim sirens.
Yes.
And here is a siren luring a young sailor to his death. She's a hybrid.
It's easy to get lured by fish and women at the same time.
How about Versace?
Ask me, I'm a cat.
Huh? What is Versace about? Yeah,
Clothing.
that real pretty woman.
Yes.
Medusa,
Pretty
with
women.
a head of snakes instead of hair, who turns you into stone if you look
Medusa.
at her. What is she? She's a hybrid, a Nephilim.
Hybrids.
And that's the symbol of one of the most luxurious brands.
But I'm a talking cat. So
Nephilim among us, our biggest sports competition
the
on the planet. I would say it's the biggest event that brings the entire planet together. What is it? The Olympics, named after Zeus and the Olympian gods who ruled from Mount Olympus.
Yes, the Olympics.
All Nephilim. It's a tribute to the Nephilim. In fact, in the old days when they had the Olympics, they would offer sacrifices and offerings to the Olympian gods. The next Olympics, Rio 2016, again carrying the name of the Olympian gods to the world. Let's go to sports. Nike. Ever heard of Nike? What's Nike? Sports brand Manufacturer of sports clothing? Wrong.
Yes.
It's Nephilim. Goddess of
Nike
victory.
is a Nephilim.
She's a Nephilim. In fact, when I went to Ephesus, I saw this exact stone. This is Nike, the goddess of victory.
I need spirit.
Amazon. What's Amazon?
Woman?
You thought Amazon was a place that you go online to buy stuff, right? Wrong.
Amazon is women.
Bunch of Nephilim, a race of female warriors whose name
Yes.
meant without breasts,
What?
Amazos in Greek, or
Women
killer
without
of men.
breasts.
Is that nice? Some of them are hybrids of Ares or Mars and mortal humans.
Not enough spirit.
Who are they? They're a race of female warriors that would cut one of their breasts off so that they could fight more viciously. And
I
the
didn't
myth
know.
is they either cut the breasts off or they burn their breasts off.
What?
And they were feared everywhere. A race of female Nephilim.
That's scary stuff.
What's this? The Odyssey. You thought
Yes.
the Odyssey was a car. No, it's not.
No, it's a book.
It's the Greek epic about Ulysses and the ancient
Ulysses.
hybrid Nephilim that he met all over the place. That's
It's a
the
great
Odyssey.
book.
What's your Achilles?
Heel.
Your Achilles tendon is a
Yes.
tendon that is named after the god, the demigod
I
Achilles,
don't have enough
who
Yes.
Brad Pitt played in a movie. He's the hybrid son of goddess Thetis and Peleus, who is a friend, a mortal, a friend of Hercules.
Not yet recharged.
Now Thetis tried to make him immortal by dipping him in the river Styx. Remember the river that separates our world from hell? But the part by which he held him, which was his ankle, was left vulnerable.
Yeah, he dipped him all
So in one battle, Paris, who's a man, shot Achilles in the heel and killed him.
Spirit.
Today, a person's weakness is called his Achilles heel. Why? It's
Yes.
named after
A heel is
hybrid
also the bad guy.
Nephilim. Hollywood just can't get enough of demigods.
Of heels.
They can't come up with any new stories that makes more money or sells better. So they made Thor recently, a tribute to the Norse god of thunderbolts, a Nephilim. This is Arnold Schwarzenegger in one of his early roles
Close the
on cinema.
doors.
He's played
Shoot the
Hercules,
glass.
half
No,
god,
that was
half
the
human,
German
son
guy.
of Zeus, and
Yeah.
Alcmene, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. And a movie that's coming
Everyone's
up
a
next
Nephilim.
year, Hercules again. It's going to be played by Dwayne Johnson, or The Rock, coming out August
Yeah,
next year,
wrestling.
2014. They just
Rock.
can't get enough of these demigods.
Can you
People
smell
like him.
what
Twilight.
The Rock is
Vampire
cooking?
breeds with a female human to produce hybrid.
Nephilim.
X-Men, genetically
X-
engineered
not enough
superhumans.
Yeah,
Hybrid.
superhuman.
Yeah, real pretty, aren't they? And they always
Yeah,
look so
pretty.
evil, huh? We just can't get enough of hybrids. See,
We
it's
love
so
them
easy to
hybrids.
look back at the Greeks and the Romans and say how foolish they were. But think about how much money
foolish.
people spent
They were so foolish, the
because of their
Romans.
belief about this stuff. Now, there is a Christian allegory called The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis, in which many hybrids
I
are
need
featured.
spirit.
Here is a satyr, which is a half man, half goat.
Oh, yes,
He's a
it's the
Nephilim.
Faun.
Here's a centaur, half man, half horse.
Here we
Nephilim.
have a half cat, half man.
Here's
And
Planet of the
Monkey
Apes,
King.
genetically engineered apes with human genes for enhanced intelligence. Hybrid. They're making another one. Evolution becomes revolution. The rise of the Planet of the Apes. That hasn't come out yet, has it? I think that's coming out.
That's out.
Hybrid.
Enough spirit. It is not
Right?
ready yet.
When aliens come in Hollywood movies, what do they want?
Sex.
Huh? They want human genes for manipulation. They want to
Oh.
make genetically modified organisms. Hollywood
But they wanna
loves
have
genetic
sex.
engineering.
I thought the
We
aliens
just
wanted
can't
sex.
get enough of it. Tom Cruise in a recent movie, Oblivion.
Yes.
He's a drone repairman,
alone.
Tech 49.
He was
Jack
alone
Parker
in the
finds
whole
his
movie.
genes have been taken by aliens to create a reprogrammed race of humans. Interesting,
Oh.
isn't it? How so many things from the ancient time until now
Yes, it's the same
points
story.
to something. It
Toy
points to
Story.
something in the past that evidently happened according to the
They
Bible,
have toy,
and it seems
have
like something
man.
that is also on the horizon. Now the question is, why should Christians care? I've left this part
Christians?
to the second session. I
Why
normally
should
do this
Jews
part
or
first, like
Muslims
the
care?
scriptures. But
Why
I left
should
it here
animals
because I
care?
thought I'd grab your attention
should
first and
aliens
show you
care?
how pervasive, how ubiquitous the Nephilim are in our lives. Are you convinced?
What?
Yeah, Nephilim are among
Convinced
us.
about what?
We should care because it's in the Bible.
Oh.
We know that the rabbis named 7 demigod hybrids in the Bible. The Nephilim, the fallen ones, the Rephaim, the dead ones, the Anakim, the Zamzumim,
Anakin.
the Imim, the Gibborim,
Anakin is
and the
Darth
Avim.
Vader.
They named 7 of them. This is not just some tangent thing. And they did not take it as myth.
No myth.
There are hybrids in heaven, in case you didn't know. Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 10 talks about a creature that I think you would be shocked to meet on the street. Here's what he looks like. As for the likeness of their faces, each had the face of a man. Each of the 4 had the face of a lion on the right side. Each of the 4 had the face of an ox on the left side. Each of the 4 had the face of an eagle.
And I have the face
Imagine
of a
meeting one
cat
of these.
and the body of a lizard.
If you can't get along with someone because their skin color is slightly different from you,
But I'm humanoid.
you're going to be unpleasantly surprised by heaven.
No.
Because there is so much more diversity in heaven. And God's saying, get used to it.
Guitar has raised me to new
I'm a God of
121.
diversity. I like making things, but I want to make them. You are not allowed, you're not authorized to tamper with the genetic code.
No.
Revelation chapter 4, verse 7 mentions it again, a hybrid in heaven. The first living creature was like a lion, the second living creature like a calf, the third living creature had a face like a man, the fourth living creature was like a flying eagle. And it's all like. He just couldn't find the words to
Yes,
describe
it's
it.
like. It's not always locked down like
There are
this.
definitely
Yeah,
some
I know.
strange creatures in heaven.
Strange.
Ezekiel
We're
chapter
all
10, verse
strange,
9 to
aren't we?
10 in the New Living Translation. He
What?
said, I looked, and each of the 4 cherubim had a wheel beside him, and the wheels sparkled like beryl, like a jewel. All 4 wheels looked alike and were made the same. Each wheel had a second wheel turning crosswise within it. That's
So
a
the wheels are
strange
turning in the
creature.
wheels.
If you think about it, it's not that strange because we have one thing that is a perfect circle in our makeup. It's our eye.
Oh.
Our eye is the only perfect circle that I see in our body. But God likes it, and so God made some creatures with a bunch of perfect
The
circles. all
eye
over.
is a perfect circle.
I guess with a bunch of wheel-looking things around them. So we need to know that it's in the Bible because once we understand this, the context will help us understand the Bible. It will help you understand things like why there was a flood of Noah, why
Do we
God
need to
commanded
understand
the
the
total
Bible?
annihilation of the Canaanites, because there were some strange things happening in that time, a genetic engineering, a genetic manipulation at that time. Why should Christians care? Because it's predicted to happen again.
What
Ecclesiastes
is
chapter 1
predicted
verse
to
9,
happen
that which
again?
has been is what will be. That which is done is what will be done. There is nothing new under the sun. And
Nothing
Jesus
new,
said
eh?
in Matthew 24 verse 37 in the
I thought this show
NIV,
was
as
new.
it was in the days of
Have you
Noah,
seen this
so it
before?
will be at the coming of the Son of Man. That
What
leaves
will be
it
coming?
really open. As it was in the days of Noah, you have to ask, well, what happened in the days of Noah?
What happened?
Why was it that God had to destroy the whole world and save only 8 people? He would have saved more, but only 8 people decided to believe God. And
Only
everyone
8?
else was killed. Why? Because there was this genetic manipulation going on. Genesis 6, read it yourself, describes a genetic experiment that produced hybrids during Noah's day and brought judgment, a severe judgment, on the entire world. And then Jesus compares what's about to come to that. He says something preceded that catastrophe, and the same thing will precede
My foes lose
the
some of
ultimate
their
catastrophe. 2,000
what
years
will-
later, after Genesis 6, Israel was mandated to wipe out Canaan because of a repeat in genetic manipulation. We know that it happened because who did they meet when they entered Canaan? They met
I don't know.
the
The
giants.
cats?
Aberrations of nature, genetic mutants. One of
Oh.
them was named Goliath. And look at David
thought
dragging
Goliath was a
Goliath's head.
Nephilim.
That's not just
Oh, right, because Nephilims are the genetic mutations. Ah, now I see. Yes,
According to the Talmud, you may not have heard this before, according to the Jewish rabbis in the Talmud, you know who Goliath's mother was?
yes. No?
It was Orpah, the sister of Ruth.
What?
Remember, Ruth said, I want to follow your God, Naomi, so
No.
I'm going to go back to Israel. But Orpah says, yeah, I'd like to go, but Naomi says, you don't have to go. She said, okay, then I don't have to go.
I don't understand.
So her
Why
heart
was
wasn't
this-
there. You watch that among believers. A lot of people say the right thing, but their heart is not in it.
Oh, their heart is
Orpah
not in
was
it.
that kind of human, was that kind of lady. She said the right thing, but her heart was not really in it. And then she went and married a Nephilim, and she produced these giants. One of them was Goliath. So David actually killed one of his distant cousins.
Oh, so
Because
David killed
is
his
the
own
great,
family. Then he's no hero.
grandson.
If you kill your cousin, you're
Ruth.
not a good guy.
Right, Ruth was his sister-in-law.
Or maybe the Nephilim are good guys.
Then
I'm
we
right
find
now confused.
the Nephilim are named in the Old Testament. There's Benab.
So we are we Nephilims?
He's one of the
or
four
we're not
brothers of
Nephilims?
Goliath
Please
in
answer.
2 Samuel chapter 21, verse 16.
What chapter?
He's killed
21?
by Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, which is David's nephew. Abishai is
Zeruiah?
David's nephew.
I'm getting
Zeruiah
so
is David's
confused right now. You have
Lami is in 1
Lami?
Chronicles chapter 20, verse 5. Again, there was war with the Philistines, and Elhanan, the son of Jair,
War with
killed
the
Lami,
who?
the brother of Goliath, the Gittite, the shaft of whose spear was like a weaver's beam.
Weaver's beam.
Then we had a six-fingered giant in 1 Chronicles 20, verse 6. Again, there was war at Gath, where there was a man of great stature with 24 fingers and toes, 6 on each hand and 6 on each foot. And he also was born to the giant.
Okay.
Then we have another one in verse 7. So when he defiled Israel, Jonathan, the son of Shemaiah, David's brother, killed him. So in all there were 5 giants from Gath killed by David and his proteges. Is that cool? You follow someone, you do their works.
Cool. I don't know if it's cool, man.
Those people who followed David, who was a giant slayer, they themselves became giant slayers. Find that encouraging? By the way, this may be the possible origin for the Indian greeting how, and I'm not sure how the fingers are. I believe it's this way. But the American Indians would greet each other like this. They say how. And they always show the number of fingers they have in their hands. Because
How?
according to some Native American legends, there were giants in America, and they had 6 fingers and 6 toes. Believable?
Okay.
Well, I believe it because
6
it's in the
fingers
Bible.
and 6 toes.
Why should we care?
Yes.
It's happened in recent history.
Why should
It's not
we
only
care?
happened long time ago in ancient history, it's happened in recent history. I believe the greatest sins on earth start with a desire to create genetically engineered superhumans. And this was the
So
desire of
genetically
both Charles
engineering is
Darwin
bad?
and Adolf Hitler.
But I thought we were genetically
They had
engineered
a desire
to
for
begin
genetic
with.
superiority. And these two characters, Darwin and Hitler, they're two sides of the same coin.
Darwin
They
and
believed the
Hitler.
same thing. They were believers in what's called eugenics. Eu is Greek for good, genics for genetics. They believed in the creation of a super race.
Super.
Well, how do you create a super race?
I got
Well,
sex
they
with
pitch
super
it
people.
to the Germans that the potential to become gods. Have you ever heard that from someone before? Satan? The potential to become gods is well within our reach. People like that. People get excited about genetic engineering. Yeah.
Yes, they want to become
Defying
powerful.
God now becomes scientific. And so, in the name of science, not in the name of Christianity, in the name of science, 6 million Jews were killed in the name of
Oh,
evolutionary
they were
science.
killed in the name of science.
Because it was simply survival of the fittest.
yes,
tragedy.
survival of the fittest.
You know, many young people don't even learn this anymore. We're probably about to get into World War
no
III,
young people learn
where
this.
some of the worst stuff in the world
We learning now.
is going to happen. And people
What's
don't
gonna
even know.
happen?
It was based on this desire for genetically enhanced humans. That people allowed Hitler to do what he did. Eugenics was very popular. This is Darwin's cousin, Francis Galton. I think it's spelled with an A, G-A-L. He was the father of eugenics, close relative of this fellow. Very popular. There were eugenic societies. Instead of going to church, people went to eugenic societies. Over 65,000 people were sterilized under the official eugenics programs in the United States. Here are some signs. Some people are born to be a burden on the rest.
What?
See, that's what Darwinian evolutionary science teaches people.
The Rift Guardian has
Here's another sign. War against the weak. Your
War
belief
against...
is foundation, is the
Why war
foundation
against
of what
the
you
weak?
do. Your belief is everything.
I thought we were supposed to take care of the weak.
Here's a German having his Aryan credentials checked by his nose size.
Who's the weak?
But our God said that He created every human in His own image and likeness. We, all of us, are as human as Adam and Eve. There's been no evolution in the human race or any species. We've never seen any species turning into another species. Thousands were sterilized to
there's
keep the
no proof for
population down
evolution.
and the genetic pool pure. Are you hearing this argument? A lot of kids who go to university believe that the earth is overpopulated. Nonsense. We have so much. God has made this planet super abundant. We have so much resources to support way more than 7, 8, 9, 10 billion people. It's going to be a population explosion when Jesus comes back. The millennium will be full of people, and the earth is well capable of handling it. You fly across the world as much as I do, and you look out the window, you will find most of the planet is empty.
What?
Most of America, with 300 million people, is empty. The world was created by God to sustain lots more life. Our worth comes from not man, but from God. So Satan's temptation is always been this.
Okay.
The same thing that he pitched to Eve in Genesis chapter 3, verse 4 and 5. The serpent said to the woman, "You will not surely die. If you don't believe God, if you disobey God, number one, you will not surely die. For God knows that in the day that you eat of it, your eyes will be open, and you will be like God." The three promises of the devil: number one, longevity or immortality. Number two, intellectual superiority. Number three, deification. You'll be like God. Greatest sins on earth start with the desire to create
The devil
superhumans.
always trying to fool you.
But I think there's one more reason why we as Christians should be concerned, should be aware of what the Bible
I'm not sure
and
I'm a
obviously
Christian,
lots
though.
of mythology around the world
I
talks
like
about.
Jesus.
I believe it's
Christ
actually
consciousness is
happening right
okay
now.
by me.
And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it on your radar.
Okay.
There's a lot of genetic
I pay
manipulation
attention
going
then,
on.
so I don't miss it.
This is an article from August 2011, Death of the Bees, Genetically Modified Crops and the Decline of Bee Colonies in North America. They found dead bees. Monsanto, one of the biggest, I think the biggest company that's doing genetic modification. Monsanto genetically engineered seeds are killing off bees. And here's a comparison of bee intestines. And the black one on the left ate GMO food. So if it does that to bees, I wonder what it's doing to our children. Right now,
Save the bees.
well, let's take a look at how many plants rely on bees. Some of
All
those
of them.
valuable fruits, vegetables, nuts, and field
We love
crops
the
depend
bees.
on insect pollinators, particularly honeybees. Soybeans, cottons, grapes,
Yes,
almonds,
soybean,
apples, oranges,
cotton.
strawberries,
Oh, beans
peanuts,
are so
peaches,
good.
blueberries.
I'm a veggie.
So I believe that this type of genetic modification may be the culprit. It may lay out the scenario
What?
that Revelation talks about.
What does
Revelation says
Revelation
it's going
talk
to be mass
about?
starvation.
I don't know
There's going to be massive
Revelation.
disaster. People will die. A third of the human race is going to die. How's
Why?
that possible? Well, if the bees are dying off because of genetically modified food, and then we're introducing it into the human population, what is that going to do to people?
So are people gonna die when bees
Is it a
die?
conspiracy? Some people believe
it
that they're
conspiracy?
willfully sowing seeds of destruction, the hidden agenda
Seeds of
genetic
destruction?
manipulation.
What?
There certainly is sickness from GMO on the rise. A lot of
Sickness from
Australian
GMO?
children today cannot eat peanuts. A lot of Australian schools are now telling children, even if you're not allergic to peanuts, don't bring peanuts, because so many Aussie kids can't even eat or be near peanuts. So these
Oh.
are the top 10 genetically modified foods. Do you ever eat corn, soy, anything from
Yes, I
cotton,
eat soy.
papaya, rice, canola, potatoes,
Rice, yes.
tomatoes, dairy products, peas?
Tomatoes, yes.
Yeah, this is going into our systems right now.
Not enough spirit.
How do I
BBC
stop
News.
eating?
December
But I need
1999,
proof.
Trojan gene could wipe out fish. Just one genetically modified fish could wipe out local populations of the species if released into the wild. Biologists
no good.
have warned.
How do we know this is true, though?
These are
If you
countries
said
that
so
ban
abundant.
GMO. The green countries say
What's
no.
the answer?
red countries say yes. Unfortunately, the English-speaking world, represented there by England, says yes. And we see more sicknesses than in France.
What?
So you can see there's a difference. It's not just the red wine that the French drink. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes.
Yes, a lot.
There's a
of
growing
things
use
going
of
on.
humanized animals. That's what they call it. That's an article in 2011 in The Guardian. Humanized animals. Like this, a mouse
I'm a
ear
humanized
hybrid.
animal.
That's a
What?
mouse growing a human ear. Why are they doing that? Because they say artificial liver could be grown
Oh, artificial liver
in
growing.
other animals. And they always pitch it for the benefit of humanity. And people like that, don't they? Make you live longer. Make you immortal. Enhance your memory. Make you like God. And they're serious about this, you know?
I thought the soul
How about
was
this?
immortal.
Goat-spider
The
hybrid.
body isn't immortal, but the
You
soul
heard of
is.
Spider-Man?
Yes.
Now it's Spider-Goat.
Answer.
What do you get when you cross a spider with a goat? It may
With a
sound
goat,
like a
spider
joke,
goats.
but it is real. Meet Spider-Goat, a DNA-enhanced web-flinging nanny that may one day knit bones. They're doing this. They're saying the spider web is so wonderful, but we can't depend on spiders to make them because they're too little. So we'll make the goat spin spider webs, and then we can produce
Yes.
a lot more.
Weaver. Weaver
How about
is my
this one?
human.
This was this year. Truth is stranger than fiction. First hamburger to be made from lab-grown meat. There you go. Mmm, delicious. How would you like some lab-grown hamburger?
Why not?
This beef never lived. He's not a cow that ever walked on grass, never saw
would you wanna eat the live
the
cow?
light of the sun. He
I
was
like
grown in a
cows.
test
Cows
tube.
are nice.
Fortunately for us, right now, one of these patties would cost over $100,000 to eat. That's how much it
I
costs.
have the.
Hey, look,
bovine
my genetically
porridge,
modified
which,
fruit bit me
summons,
back.
The murderous cows.
Frankenfood. They're fun food.
To fight for
Taiwan breeds green glowing pigs.
green
Scientists in
glory.
Taiwan say they have bred 3 pigs that glow in the dark. Mmm, wonderful.
That's funny.
Look at that. They have mice that glow in the dark. Pretty soon your babies will glow in the dark.
No, glowing
New
in
federal
the dark
guidelines will allow the
babies.
creation of human-animal chimeras. If you don't know, chimera is from the Greek myth. It's the mix, a hybrid of lion, snake, and goat.
Oh,
That's weird. That's why they call it a chimera.
is that
That's
the
2005. Mail Online, 2011 again. 150 human-animal hybrids grown in UK labs. Embryos have been produced secretively for the past 3 years.
Oh, only 3?
Did you know that there is a transhuman movement?
What year
The
are
objectives of the movement, have you heard this before? Extend life, enhance intelligence, and to become like God.
we in? Look at my cows fighting
I
here.
think we just read that somewhere in
All
Genesis,
the
didn't we?
cows running with me.
Man becoming his own God via transhumanism. They have a plan. It's called the 2045
transhuman.
Avatar Project. These are their
Avatar.
stages. First, make a robotic copy of the human body, remotely controlled. Next stage, by
Transformer.
2020, make an avatar in which the human brain can be transplanted at the end of one's life. So your body can die, but we're going to take your brain and put it in another body. By 2030, we want an avatar with an artificial brain, because we don't even like your brain anymore, it might corrode, in which a human personality can be transferred at the end of one's life. And then by 2040 to 2045, their goal is to make a hologram-like avatar. So we don't even need humans anymore. And they are serious about this, because they believe they can be better than God. And that's always the human deception. Whenever we tamper with God's stuff, we always make it worse. Is that true? God made all these fruits and vegetables and nutrients that we can eat, and our food
fruits
can
and
become our medicine.
vegetables.
But instead, we pay gazillions of dollars for pharmaceuticals to produce synthetic
I
chemicals
don't want
that
the
are toxic
pharmaceuticals.
and are killing us. And we say, no, we've got a better solution. It's our synthetic man-made chemicals going to make us healthy. See the deception of man? We always
Yes.
think we can one-up God, but you can't. Well, did you know the Dalai Lama supports the 2045 project? There he is.
What
He
is
says, "I like it."
2044 project? What is
Here's
it?
the founder of a political party based on Evolution 2045. Neo-humanity.
Neo-humanity!
Right? And they see that
Oh.
different animals have different strengths. So we don't have the sight of an eagle, we don't have the speed of a cheetah, we don't have the digestive system of other animals. If we could just manipulate the human body and
Who
genome and
had the
just put all
speed
of
of
these
Puma?
different genes in, we can create a superhuman.
Star.
Here's one guy says cybernetic immortality.
With
Is
the
it fantasy
eye
or a
of the
scientific
hawk and
problem to be
speed of
solved?
a puma.
Well, they believe the rich should be first to pay, and the rich are paying. They're joining transhumanism so that they can preserve their consciousness after they die in a perfect body.
Oh,
Remember
preserve
Satan's 3 lies?
consciousness.
You will not
In
surely
this
die,
realm.
for God knows in the day that you eat of it,
Yes, that
your
could be a funny
eyes will be
idea.
open, and you will be like
Isn't
God.
that what we're doing right now? I'm programming
Remember
my
what Jesus
voice
predicted?
into this computer.
He said this is going to happen in the last days.
The
In
last
chapter 24,
days.
verse 11 to 14, then many false prophets will rise up and deceive many.
Yes, deceive many with
here,
the false
folks.
prophets.
It's already happened.
Yes,
So many
you might
people
be the
believe
false
that
prophet
they can
deceiving
become
us.
like God.
Like
That they don't need God. They
God.
don't need a Savior.
you don't need
And
a
because
savior.
lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold.
The
But he
love
who
of many will
endures to
grow
the end, would you
cold.
say endures to the end? He who endures to the end shall be saved. And this gospel
who
of the
endures to
kingdom
the
will
end
be
shall
preached in
be
all the
saved.
world as a witness to all nations. And then
So you
the
must
end will
endure
come.
to the end.
Don't put your hope in transhumanism, in genetic engineering. Put your hope in Jesus. He knew all of these
Jesus.
things would be coming.
Jesus,
and I
save
think
us
we're here.
all!
I don't know about the alien scenario. I'm not sure if the repeat of the Nephilim has to be outer space people. All that happened was some genetic manipulation. But the interesting thing that I'll close with is this. All the people that get surveyed who claim to have been abducted by aliens, all of them talk about genetic manipulation. All of them talk about their ovum or their sperm being forcefully taken out of them. So what's going on? I don't know, but every time aliens show up in Hollywood movies, they want our genes.
That's scary.
And the scientists right now want to manipulate our genes. And God said the last 2 times that happened,
You
it
can't
wasn't
take
long
my
before
illusions.
total destruction came. And Israel entered the promised land. I think the
What
good
with
news
Israel?
is that when you see all these things happening, Israel is not
Yes.
far from meeting her Messiah.
I didn't hear
The
what you
Messiah
said.
is the promise of all promises. That's the true freedom. So instead of looking at the negative, remember, keep your eyes up. Look at the positive. Jesus is the
Yes.
Messiah. Put your faith
Look
and
at the
trust in him.
positive. That's what I always say.
Let's stand with
That's
us, right?
what you should do. Look at the
Father, we
positive.
thank you so much that sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. But you give us the heart and the mind to be able to comprehend these things and to be aware and to
Yes.
be ready for them.
Yeah, be
Whatever
ready.
comes, we will not be deceived. Whatever
Do not
comes,
be
your truth
deceived.
has prepared us and set us free.
Yes.
So we just
free.
pray, Lord, that those who watch this video would be set free by lies and deceptions, maybe false paradigms of the world that they just bought and never considered in light of the Bible. I pray and I encourage you. If you're listening, you're watching, open your Bible.
I don't know
Read
the
the Bible.
Bible, but I know
Believe
Jesus
the God
and
of
the
the Bible.
positive is
He
good
said
stuff.
He's coming soon to judge the living and the dead. Before that day, give your heart to Jesus and follow him. In Jesus' name I pray for you. Amen.
Hey man, just be a good one. And let's run this rift to the ground. Well, I thought that was a pretty interesting talk. I mean, it was a little heavy on the Bible. I haven't read the Bible personally, so I don't know with all the women's names there in the middle. But I know Jesus is a good guy. I've seen him on South Park. He's done some nice stuff there. And overall, it seems like the positive message and being open and don't be deceived by the illusion of humanism and transhumanism, and that is something I think we all could use. So I hope you enjoyed this talk, that I shared. I will be back later today when I found another video that we can listen to together while we grind some rifts and listen to some music. And so I hope it's been more entertaining than it has been previously on my show when I just grind. Yeah, so you're watching your cat plays Diablo Reaper of Souls, listening to some conspiratorial chats and some nice ambient space music. I will just pick up the loot here and go back to town. And oh, I forgot a gem, but screw that gem. We shall identify the helm. What was it, the helm I got? New transmog. MEOW of Twilight. Oh, that's pretty good. And then I got a sword. Let's see what that was. Slain enemies rest in pieces. Yeah, pretty fun. Okay. I'm just gonna salvage these things. I'm gonna put that helmet in the bank because it was pretty nice. I could use it later. Gotta check how it looks too. Hey, that's pretty sweet. I think I'm gonna run like that for a while. Darth Vader, white cow with the cow stick. Okay. All right. Need to do this too. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do like this also. Reset. I'm gonna go 20, 10, 11. Okay, there we go. Can you wave in this game? No, not a valid command. Okay, so thank you for this time. See you on the next. What's with my neck? Wait. Okay. Yeah. See you on the next stream.